And with information provided by the National Weather Service and using Storm Team 8's computer modeling software, we've recreated the conditions on April 3rd, 1956.
To begin with, unseasonably warm temperatures made the spring day feel like midsummer. By 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the thermometer reached the upper 70s, a full 26 degrees above average. Even more unusual was the humidity adding to the summer-like conditions. Very dry air moving in from Iowa and Wisconsin, along with very strong winds throughout the atmosphere, all combined to create conditions more commonly seen in the southern plains, not here in West Michigan.
And this evening, Storm Team 8 is live from 4 locations that felt the wrath of those tornadoes 50 years ago. We'll start with Joe Sullivan live tonight at Oval Beach near Saugatuck, the site of the first tornado.
Well, Craig, not much has changed along this part of the Lake Michigan shoreline in about 50 years. If you're not familiar with Oval Beach, it sits just west of Saugatuck and south of Douglas. It's nestled between the Kalamazoo River and Lake Michigan. Now, about 50 years ago, that tornado started just behind me here to the south along the Lake Michigan shore at the Presbyterian camp right along the lake. It then traveled to the north and follow along with me here, came up the beach, and eventually struck the old beach house that was sitting just east or inland of this structure that you see behind me here. The next structure in the path of the tornado's fury was the Saugatuck Lighthouse.
Okay, we were looking approximately in this direction.
Okay, so you're looking past the house? Past
the house, and then we see all this floating stuff coming over the roof of the house.
Gene Shane never saw the tornado that hit Saugatuck, but he remembers the damage it caused.
And we were seeing things floating in the air, and one of the things that we saw was a door.
Well, this is it. What's left?
Jack Sheridan missed seeing the tornado too. His memories come from what the twister left behind.
And came over here and just totally took the lighthouse off its foundation, totally scattered the wreckage off to the north and east.
The Saugatuck tornado formed quickly and moved even faster. Too fast for the 1956 technology and the meteorologists who used it to warn people to take shelter. 50 years ago, there was no computer modeling used to forecast severe weather days in advance. No live Doppler network to know instantly when a tornado was forming. Back then, there were none of the tools Storm Team 8 meteorologists use in predicting and warning West Michigan of severe weather. Yet, despite the primitive technology, there was some warning.
There were killer tornadoes at 1 p.m. in Wisconsin, so there was some inkling that bad weather and tornadoes were coming.
That bad weather would race across the lake, form a funnel south of Oval Beach, destroy a beach house, and then target the Saugatuck Lighthouse.
And there were a lot of pieces around, but nothing really recognizable as the old lighthouse.
No one witnessed the destruction, but local historian Jack Sheridan says the story is in the sand for anyone to read.
There's no doubt what this is. This is a cast iron piling. The lighthouse sat on probably 12 of these. The rod is bent, which would have been a result of the beams being twisted by the force of the wind.
Faded photographs tell the story. Once there, then gone, a summer cottage built on the foundation of the old lighthouse.
Gene, explain to me the landscape here. What are we looking at here and then out towards Lake Michigan?
Of course, you can see the river, Kalamazoo River.
Mm-hmm.
Originally known as the Bennett Place, Gene's father was the caretaker.
And then the kitchen window was here, and my dad was in the window, and I followed them because of the noise. You know, we were curious, and it was just like a train, a loud train.
From the kitchen window, Gene and his father watched the tornado pull up a giant tree and lay it gently on the ground. The home's beautiful porches and pillars untouched.
And none of the house was hurt.
Shingles, nothing?
Nothing.
Wow.
Nothing at all.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
Well, after the tornado passed over Gene's head, it moved northeast towards Holland and Zeeland. Here's a map and track of the Saugatuck tornado. If you follow along on the map here, just south of Oval Beach, it moved northeast through farm country and then lifted just south of Holland near the cross streets of Washington and 32nd. And one final note I want to pass along to you. Folks around here and other people have asked, what about the radar on Mount Baldy? If you can see that behind me, it could have perhaps helped people in 56 find out about the tornado or at least see the storm. But Craig, local historians tell us that emplacement wasn't put in until about 1957, or 1 year after the tornado struck here in Saugatuck.
Well, thank you very much, Joe. And for more on weather technology then and now, you can take our technology tour. Go to woodtv.com, click on Tracking the Storm icon. Then take a virtual tour of the Storm Team 8 Forecast Center. You'll learn more about how we predict and warn West Michigan when severe weather threatens.
Well, the tornado that hit Saugatuck was classified an F4, but what exactly does that mean?